So you understand the importance of learning GenAI in your career. You also understand its impact across the globe, and therefore you want to learn the required tech stack, but you're not sure where to start from. Because each and every resource available over the internet tells you a different roadmap every time, making you even more confused. If you feel stuck due to all these reasons, in that case, this one is going to be the only roadmap you will need to get started with your preparation for a career around GenAI development. So without any further delay, let's get started. So before we get started discussing the content of this roadmap, I want to first focus on the why question. Okay, why means why should you choose this roadmap, or why you should not follow this roadmap. Okay, I will help you to understand that first. So let me erase it quickly. Let me select a pen here. Okay, I'll quickly draw you over here. This cute little guy is you. Okay, and this is your dream AI job. Okay, in the field of Gen AI. You know very well, you may have explored it already, that there are multiple different ways or roadmaps which takes you over there. Okay, the most confusing question for us becomes this, that which one I should take. Okay, as per my requirement, my understanding or prior knowledge that I have, or the job which I am targeting, which roadmap is suitable for you or for me, let's say. Okay, this is what I'm going to help you understand here right before discussing the roadmap. Okay, obviously I'm going to take some time. I'm going to keep things detailed, but at the same time I request that you watch it till the end. ऐसा आपको detailed roadmap और मिलेगा नहीं. Okay, so let's consider that there is a tech. Okay, it could be any type of tech. It could be like smartphones or some advanced camera, or let's take an example of electric vehicles, electric cars. Okay, obviously in any given field or tech, there are bunch of engineers working who bring different type of expertise. Okay, so hundreds of different type of job roles would exist over there. I mainly want to focus on these three aspects. Okay, I'll talk about it. These three aspects, again, I'm talking from the perspective of, let's say, electric vehicle. Okay, so the first kind of engineering job role would be the people who are mostly involved into experimentation. Okay, developing new product, bringing the POC, or what do you call it, MVP1 kind of thing. Okay, they bring the proof of concept that okay, this is something new that we can do. We have tried experimentations, heuristics, and this is what we have developed. Okay, after that, after this one gets approved, there is a second type of engineering field, which you can say these are people who mainly look into the production part. Okay, they are responsible for deployment or doing the production at scale. Okay, they are responsible that this tech should be produced at scale with a very reliable setup and infrastructure or architecture, whatever you call it. Okay, so these people or these type of engineers are responsible for that. Okay, let's consider the third type of engineer who are responsible to, let's say, add more features to this tech. Okay, or let's say to solve bugs, if this tech has any type of bug. Okay, it could be, again, I'm saying it could be any kind of tech. It could be a software, hardware, IoT device, anything. Okay, so the job for this engineer or this class of engineer is to update features, to fix bugs, or let's say to keep the product up to date. Okay, really hope that you have got a clear understanding till this point. Now we are going to understand this entire situation from the perspective of, you call it Gen AI. Okay, you call it LLMs, you call it whatever you want. Okay, let's cover the situation from the AI perspective now. Okay, now the first type of engineers or the first class of engineers. Okay, class 1, class 2, class 3, I'm now covering the class 1 type. These are senior AI engineers, or you can say senior data scientists. Okay, Their job is to perform experimentation, to perform research, to develop new model, to break the previous benchmark performance, basically for the previous model, and they come up with the new models. Okay, like after 3.5 GPT 3.5, if we got 3.5 turbo, if we got 4.0 mini, then 4.1, 5.1, then these are the people working behind the scene. Okay, second kind of engineers, or I can say class 2 engineers, are basically MLOps professionals, or you can say AI architect. Okay, now different companies would have these profiles with different names. I am not getting into the details of that, but you get the idea. The responsibility for this class of engineer would be to take the innovation from this class, okay, whatever they have developed, to make sure the product becomes consumable, the deployment is on place, okay, to create the bug-free setup, to connect all the services, and basically to have a reliable setup. Okay, because just chat GPT being created or GPT 4.1 being created or developed was not the end goal. The end goal was to make sure the product gets a reach to millions of people. Okay, millions of people. So that is what happening on this layer on a very high level. Okay, now don't come back to me asking question that can't that happen over here. See, these job roles can work interchangeably. Okay, I'm talking about things from a broader perspective. Okay, now let's come here. Okay, these are Gen AI developers. Okay, perhaps you know already that Chat GPT is not an AI. Chat GPT is not an AI. Chat GPT is just a chat application. The AI is embedded behind that. Okay, when we send a message behind the scene, that gets consumed by the AI model. Okay, AI model like transformers like GPT 5.1 or 4.1 or 4.0 mini, which was developed or created on this level. Okay, it was set on the production on this level. Okay, but now Gen AI developers came into the picture and they built the application like Chat GPT. Okay, which has the capability of using this model at the back end. It has the capability of maintaining multiple chat sessions. It has the capability of maintaining the memory. Okay, just to retrieve the context. Okay, so really hope that you are able to understand what's happening on this level. Okay, and none of these different classes of engineering are above or beneath each other. Okay, they serve different purposes, they have different tech stack required. Okay, and they have different type of impact, and all of them are important. Okay, now just to be very clear, we were earlier discussing this thing. I'll quickly remove all of this, okay, just to keep my slate clean and ready for the next topic. Let me quickly select this one. So we were discussing that for you, in order to reach this AI job, okay, there would be different routes which you can take. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. You can take a route where you become a data scientist, then senior data scientist, then a matured AI engineer who actually has the understanding, experience, or capability of building your own Chat GPT, your own DeepSeek, your own Gemini 2.5 Flash model. Okay, or you can take this route where you become specialized at deploying models. Okay, like deploying these large LLMs, or to deploy the application built on top of these LLMs. Okay, so you take care of the infrastructure, the setup, the architecture of the services. You take care of these things, or you become the GenAI developer who builds chatbots, advanced RAG systems, autonomous agents. You build all of these things. Okay, now I really hope that from the impact perspective, you understood that which route you need to take depending on what you want to do, what kind of impact you want to create. Okay, secondly, the second factor which will allow you to choose one of these paths would be this, that how much time, effort, in some case money, okay, because although there are free resources to learn stuff, but few people will have this choice that they would want to stay invested. They would want to spend some money on a course so that they feel invested, they feel responsible to complete the course or curriculum. Okay, otherwise you already know what happens in a free playlist mostly. Okay, the number of people who start the playlist is like 8 or 12 times of people who actually finish it. Anyways, the point is there are certain investments, okay, and I would say that money is the most I would say less precious investment. These things are more precious, your time and effort, which is limited. Okay, so there could be someone, okay, let's say there could be a student who says that I have like 2 to 4 years of time and I want to learn everything about machine learning, deep learning. I want to learn about transformers from absolute scratch. Basically, they want to become knowledgeable enough, eligible enough to train or fine tune their own LLM models. Okay, in that case, if you have this much time and effort to spend, to invest, then obviously you would take this route, the longer route, where you kind of learn data science, you learn machine learning, you learn deep learning, you learn maths. Okay, you take a long route and eventually you land over here. Okay, or you could be someone who will try to strike a balance between this and this. Okay, and perhaps someone who is more specialized in cloud services, in deployment services, distributed computing, data sharding, Docker, Kubernetes, with these things. Okay, then this could be a roadmap where you learned stuff like MLOps, etc. Otherwise, whenever I have mentored people, okay, I have spoken to a lot of people. Majority of them, whoever is trying to get into the field of AI, okay, they come up with this criteria that Vikash, I have only 3 to 6 months. Okay, I need to learn all of this. I need to figure out a job. This could be their first job, or either they are trying to make a transition. Okay, if you fall within this bucket that you have limited time, limited effort to invest, and within a short amount of time, like let's say within a range of 4 to 8 months, depending on how much time you have to spare per day into your learning. Okay, depending on these factors, you can choose to go for the GenAI development roadmap. Okay, this is where you learn to develop AI powered applications. Okay, so I tried to keep things very simple over here. Okay, on the Campus X channel by Nitish sir, a few weeks back, he posted a video, very detailed video, where he explains you the entire landscape of AI. He kept things extremely detailed over there, explaining you each and every vertical, each and every subset of this entire GenAI field. I definitely recommend you to watch that video, but I tried to summarize things over here. Okay, so again, just to summarize, if you have a lot of time, like 2 to 4 years as a student, let's say you are in your first or second year of your career or in your college, or you have enough time to prepare for this, okay, you take this route, not a problem. In that case, you will have to refer to my data science roadmap. Otherwise, if you want to accomplish things in a limited amount of time, okay, you want to learn things quickly, you want to learn about building application, GenAI development, and you want to target an area in the job market where most of the openings are available, in that case, this roadmap will be perfectly suitable for you. Okay, I really hope that I tried my best to give you the answer of the why question, that why you should be following this roadmap. Okay, now irrespective whether you want to follow this roadmap or not, I would suggest that you watch it completely to have a high level understanding. One last thing before proceeding ahead, that if you are taking the roadmap of a GenAI developer, in that case, not necessarily later on you cannot learn about data science, machine learning, or deep learning. Okay, you could be someone who figured out a job by doing Gen AI development, Okay, and then after securing a job, after having the sense of security in your career, now you can easily spend next 1 or 2 years learning data science, machine learning, etc. Okay, so that you can become fundamentally stronger engineer. Okay, so with that understanding, let's proceed ahead. So this is what I tried to explain earlier, okay, that you get started with Python, and then in order to reach GenAI, you either take this route of like GenAI developer, okay, where you don't focus on building models, but you focus on leveraging the model which is already built and using its power. You create powerful applications or project, or you can take this long route of covering data science, machine learning, deep learning, mathematics, calculus, linear algebra, then eventually RNN, LSTM, transformers, BERT, and then you switch gears towards GenAI. Okay. Again, if you have enough time, like if you are a student at the early stage of your college, then you can choose this route as well. And doesn't matter, you follow this route, later on you can come back over here. You can follow this route first and later on you can come back over here. Okay, personally, if I talk about myself, I started learning data science like 6 to 7 years back, and I've ever been a core data scientist since then. Okay, but in past 2 to 3 years, I have always felt this need at my job that just being able to train a machine learning or deep learning model is not enough. I'll have to learn that how do we develop an application powered by these models? How do we design the entire project architecture? How do we deploy it? What services we use? How do we make the code modularized? All these stuff. Okay, in fact, perhaps you know already that I work for a financial institution based in USA. They hired me as a data scientist, but for last like 1.5 years they are making me work as a GenAI developer only. Okay, because their core business is not after building models. Okay, that is not their core business. Their core business is something else. Okay, so they want to leverage these models by building powerful application which will allow them either to reduce the cost, to do the cost cutting, or to increase revenue. Really hope that I'm able to give you a clear picture that what's happening in the industry right now. Let's proceed ahead. As I told you earlier, each and every technology has these two aspects. One is build and second is apply. In this particular video, we are focusing on this aspect. Okay. So the same thing for GenAI, we can go for a low level preparation where we take the data science route, or you can take this applied AI route where you learn the GenAI development fundamentals. Okay. Finally, let's get started with the module 1, and let me tell you that I have divided this entire big roadmap. I understand I took a lot of time to reach to this point, but I personally feel this was important. So I have broken down this entire roadmap into 8 different modules. This being the module 1, which is the foundation and developer mindset oriented module of your entire learning. This is the area where you will learn that how GenAI is different from traditional machine learning, deep learning, why GenAI developers orchestrate systems, not train models, very important, okay, and how transformers work, okay, behind the scene, what is the fundamental concept of token, embedding, context, attention, encoding, decoding, vector embedding, all of these things, okay. What are LLMs? In terms of LLMs, what is pre-training, what is fine-tuning, where to apply fine-tuning, what is, anyways, prompt and RAG comes later on. And you also learn a bit about responsible AI fundamentals. Okay, what is responsible AI? This is the area where you learn about issues like bias in the data, or let's say bias in the AI generated content, bias related issues, safety concerns, and how do we apply guardrail techniques. Okay, these are the things you would learn at the very initial stage of your GenAI preparation. Next is module 2, where you will learn about the LLMs across different environments. Okay, different environment as in there could be an LLM which is deployed on cloud API versus open source LLM, how to work with them, and how do we use or deploy an LLM locally, we create an API using it, which tools or framework are used for that. Okay, we learn about running models locally for privacy, cost, and control related concerns. Okay, we learn about model behavior and comparison and trade-off, because obviously when you are using a model on cloud versus open source versus a local LLM, there will be a comparison in terms of behavior, right? You may feel that one is being suitable for your use case, other is not. Okay, and moving ahead, you would learn about prompt tuning versus fine tuning. Okay, so in what cases you would apply fine tuning, prompt tuning, and when exactly you would need to apply fine tuning. Okay, it is not that every time fine tuning is the solution. Sometimes the job could be easily done by applying a very good fine tuning technique, a prompt tuning technique. Next is to learn about token economics, latency, cost management, rate limit, token limit, etc. All of these things. Okay, let's move ahead. Module 3, this is the area where you learn about Gen AI application building without frameworks. Now you will ask me that, Vikash, why without framework? We have frameworks like LangChain, LangGraph, okay, and whatnot. So why not we directly start from these frameworks itself? You can do that, okay, no one is restricting you to do that, but why I would suggest that you take this route, so that first of all, you can identify when you apply the similar kind of project, okay, when you build a similar kind of project or application without a, let's say, library like LangChain, okay, then you get to understand, or you get to know the real power of LangChain, that what problem it is solving behind the scene, behind the method, behind the classes, what are the implementations, what are the use cases which is being solved. This is first reason why would you follow this module. The second reason being that in your project, there could be a specific requirement, there could be a specific use case or situation where you are not allowed to use LangChain. Perhaps that is not compatible with the deployment requirement or something like that. Okay, in that case, you should be confident enough to write an alternative code without LangChain, but that should be doing the same, that should be providing the same solution which LangChain provides you. Okay, so you are not restricting your knowledge limited to LangChain. So I really hope you were able to understand that why would we try to learn building GenAI application without frameworks, these popular frameworks. Okay, so here you will learn about writing prompt pipelines manually, handling conversation memory from scratch, okay, instead of using the memory component of LangChain. Okay, you would learn to work with structured output like JSON schemas or validation output, okay, or validating the output. You will learn about error handling, retries, or fallbacks. I'm not sure if you're aware, but not necessarily every time you make an API call, then you will receive an expected structured output. A lot of times these outputs are corrupted as well. Okay. And lastly, building a simple GenAI UI. This could be using, let's say, Flask or Streamlit or Gradio, these kind of frameworks. Okay. After completing module 3, we move to module 4, where you learn about GenAI orchestration with LangChain. Okay. This is when the LangChain comes into the picture. So you will learn about why orchestration framework exist at the first place, because you have now done the module 3. So now you will have the clarity around this question. You will learn about different components of LangChain like prompts, chain, tools, agents, runnables, all of these. Okay, very important from interview perspective as well. Next would be to learn about structured outputs and output parser. What are these? You will have to learn that. Okay. Next would be specifically in terms of chains, what is a sequential chain? What is a router? What is a multi-step pipeline? Okay. Implementing all of these things, you will obviously have to make mini projects that you can showcase in your portfolio. This is how you develop a strong GenAI developer portfolio. Also talk about it over LinkedIn. Okay. Then memory systems and state handling. This is also, which is something that is being supported in this LangChain framework. Okay. Let's move next and talk about module 5, everyone's favorite, RAG. First, we talk about why LLMs hallucinate. This is important to understand this particular thing. Otherwise, if you don't understand how big the problem is, the significance of the solution would not exist, right? So we first explore why LLMs hallucinate, or what is the situation of hallucination and how RAG fixes that. Okay, we learn about chunking strategies, we learn about embedding design, vector search, retrieval quality, and then finally we move to then advanced RAG, because come on, all of us know that just learning RAG or building a RAG application does not guarantee a job for you. Perhaps it was super cool couple of years back, but now due to the heavy adoption of this particular technology, RAG technology, and its heavy implementation, the problems are also emerging that, okay, when RAGs are used at scale, these are the problems which usually comes into the picture. In order to solve those problems and become production ready, you will have to learn about advanced RAG techniques like hybrid search, re-ranking, query rewriting, hide technique. Okay, all of these things you do not need to know about it right now, because obviously we are discussing the roadmap, and perhaps I did not tell you this, but you will get the entire roadmap document below in the description box. Okay, I should have tell this thing to you earlier, so please don't try to take notes. Okay, that is not required. I'll provide this entire resource to you. Okay, then we learned about multi-source ingestion, citation-based answers to avoid hallucination. All of these things. If you learn all of this, you actually become a production-ready engineer who can build like chatbots or RAG applications, which can actually go to the production. Okay, let's proceed to the module 6, which is all about agents, tools, and MCP. Okay, we learn that when agents make sense, okay, it is not that you blindly propose the agentic solution for each and every use case. Okay, you need to understand that when they should exist and when they should not exist. Okay, there is a saying, right, that job which could be done using a knife, you should not be using a sword over there. Okay, that's what I'm trying to make sense here. Okay, then we learn about what is tool calling, what is function based workflows. Okay, designing predictable and safe agents. Okay, and then finally we learn about the popular MCP fundamentals, why it's becoming a standard, how to implement it, how to use it in production, MCP tools versus framework specific tools, and finally you should try to build your first AI system that can think plus act. Okay, so far you have been building system and applications that can just think and show you the thinking or the response, but now we are moving to that part where we are putting the AI applications on steroid literally, and these will be able to take actions like booking a meeting on your behalf, or sending an email on your behalf, scheduling tasks on your behalf, all of these things. Okay, how do we orchestrate these things, how do we manage these things? We learn all of these things in this module. Okay, let's proceed ahead and talk about module 7, which is where we will cover the agentic workflow with LangGraph. Yes, now we are talking about the daddy LangGraph. Okay, we first understand that why graphs over chains. Okay, earlier so far we covered about chains, we talked about chains using LangChain, right? But under what circumstances chains are not enough and we need graphs? Okay, what are the examples of such complex systems? Okay, then we learn about nodes, edges, state, checkpoints, conditional and parallel flows, iterative flows. Okay, we learn about tool usage inside the agentic workflow, and streaming, persistence, and recovery. Okay, all of these things will be covered within this particular module. Okay, let's move ahead, and this is module 8, where we finally learn about the GenAI developer productivity stack. Okay, see, really good that you have become a developer, you know how to do development, write code, etc., everything, but there are certain tools within the productivity stack that you need to be aware of. Does not matter which route you are taking to get into the field of GenAI. Okay, for example, Cursor AI, an AI native IDE for refactoring, multi-file edits, debugging it, does not work only as a chatbot, it also works as an agent. It can create files on your behalf, it can customize files on your behalf. Okay. Initially, when tools like Cursor AI or Windsurf were introduced in the market, okay, I was thinking that will my employer ever allow it to me that I am writing the code for production for my employer on this particular tool? Will I be ever allowed, or this is just limited to personal projects? Okay. And this year itself, recently, few months back, our entire developers team were given the premium access of this Cursor AI tool. Okay, the highest paid subscription was given to all of us because our employer wants us to use these tools as much as possible for code writing, for debugging, for code refactoring, everything. Okay, they expect us to use this, obviously not blindly. They also want us to review the suggestions or the output given by these tools, but really hope that I was able to explain why these things are important. Followed by we have Windsurf, which basically allows you to do pair programming with persistent AI context. Okay, then we have VS Code integrated, that comes integrated with GitHub Copilot, or I should say GitHub Copilot comes integrated with VS Code. Okay, this is becoming an industry standard setup. And then obviously we have Claude Code as well by Anthropic. Okay, the point is, as a GenAI developer, you should have a very basic understanding or working understanding on all of these. But eventually, by the end of the day, you would choose like your magic wand. Okay, you would choose the tool that suits you the best. For example, when we learn Python development or stuff, we explore Jupyter Notebook, VS Code, Spider, PyCharm, all of that. But most of us end up using only one particular IDE at least 80 to 90% of the times. Okay, so I think that is the same situation which will happen with us over here as well. Okay. And the productivity stack is not limited to that. Okay, we also need to learn about these tools. For example, LM Studio, which allows us to run and test models locally. What type of models? GGUF. Now you will ask me, Vikash, what is GGUF? Who is GGUF? GGUF stands for, if I'm not wrong, GPT generated unified format. Okay, for example, I'll simplify this for you. For example, if a text file comes in .txt format, an audio comes in MP3 format, a video comes in, let's say, MP4 formats. Similarly, this is a standard format for models which you can download locally. I'm talking about the open source models, and you can deploy locally. Okay, try to explore this LM Studio tool. It will allow you to do that. Alternatively, you can also use Llama, okay, for local LLM for coding, chat, and agents as well. Earlier, I talked about that you can deploy an LLM locally and you can create an API around it, right? You can do that using these two tools like LM Studio and Ollama. Okay, please let me know below in the comment section if you would want me to bring tutorials based on these two. Okay, next is VLLM. This is also another high performance inference for serious workloads. Okay, personally, I have not used it that much, but perhaps you as an aspirant GenAI developer would choose to use it. Okay, next is Replit Agent for cloud. Then we have Creo AI, N8N, which is an open source workflow automation with LLM nodes, and this is low code or no code tool. Okay, and Zapier for task automation. Okay, so all of these tools, mostly they are low code or no code tools, and as a developer, you really need to know about all of these. Okay, and yeah, I can tell you with my personal experience that developers' work is not limited to code, because we know that most of the code that we write today are also generated, reviewed, refactored, debugged by LLMs itself. Okay, so most of the effort that we put is not into writing code line by line. No one is doing that anymore. Okay, we are trying to solve more complex problems which is meant to be solved by humans. Okay, so you need to do your best in order to become more productive by learning how to use all of these applications. That's all I wanted to say over here. Lastly, this is the area where we focus once we are done with the first iteration of our preparation. Okay, we focus on building our portfolio and we get ready for a career and job basically in the future. Okay, so you focus on the aspects like what hiring managers look for in a Gen AI role. Okay, so hiring managers are looking for what tech stack, what skill, what understanding. Okay, that is something you need to explore. You also need to understand that how to present Gen AI projects clearly. I know few people who are extremely good at development. They can literally develop production grade projects or application, but when it comes uh, to the point where they need to explain their project architecture, their project design, they need to talk about their application, they fail to communicate effectively. Okay, so this is something you will have to practice heavily. You will need to have a proper interview strategy for Gen AI and AI engineering job roles. Building a long-term personal learning system. Okay, does not matter today I don't have job and I'm looking for a job. Tomorrow I bought a job. It could be a remote job or maybe a hybrid setup where I'm going like 3 days to office, 2 days I'm working from home. Doesn't matter. In any situation or in any phase of your life, you should have a personal learning system. Okay, talking about me, uh, you know that I am into a full-time job. I do create content sometimes. I also have my own courses. I conduct classes for IIT as well. Okay, but amidst all of these things, I somehow manage to have a personal learning system for myself where I take out some time to learn new stuff. Okay, and if I can do that being an 8 years experienced professional, then obviously if you are a student or doesn't matter who you are, you should definitely have this personal learning system on place. Okay, so let's finally discuss about the resources. I knew that this question would come that, okay, Vikash, you told us the entire roadmap, but what about the resources? Okay, see, first of all, everything that we discussed throughout this particular video, each and everything is available on internet in form of video, in form of article, in form of PDF documents for free of cost. Okay, let me call out this thing explicitly. You can learn all of this for free of cost. Okay, you can take a free course, you can take a paid course, you can do whatever you want. I'm not judging on that, but yes, for the time being, I definitely have this answer that I have uh, this proper plan of creating this course. Okay, and I am actively working on this course, and soon enough, within next few weeks, within next couple of weeks, I will announce this on my channel itself that we are launching this course, this proper Gen AI development course, not specifically for people who want to get into data science, machine learning or deep learning, but people who want to build with Gen AI. Okay, the Gen AI development course proper. Okay, so this is the course that which I'm currently working on. Within next couple of weeks, most probably I will announce it on my channel over here. Please choose to subscribe and press the bell icon so that you can get the notification whenever I'm posting it here. Also follow me on LinkedIn as well, because I'm actively posting over there, and I will also announce there as well once this course is ready to be launched. And I swear I'm going to keep the cost of this course student friendly, beginner friendly. Okay, this will be really cost effective, and we are planning to launch this course in two different modes. First will be absolute self-paced, pre-recorded for people who prefer that mode of learning, who don't prefer like getting onto live calls and stuff, and also hybrid classes where there will be a mix of recorded plus live as well. Obviously the fee structure in both kind of learning would be different, but I promise that there will be a student friendly offer for you. Okay, and yes, with that being said, I think on my channel it was pending for a very long time that I come up with a Gen AI roadmap. I took a lot of time because I really wanted to make sure whenever I come up with this roadmap, I also provide you the solution that, okay, anyways, these are the things you need to learn. You can explore the resources. You can do it for free of cost. In case you choose to learn from me, I have the solution. Okay, so that offering will be soon over here. And not only this, soon enough I will also start posting free of cost tutorials on my YouTube as well. Okay, earlier as well, this year, in the year of 2025, I did this thing in MLOps as well. Okay, I created my paid course as well, and I also talked about it or posted tutorials on my YouTube. So really hope that you got the clarity, and thank you very much for watching till the end. Let me know below in the comment section which roadmap you would want me to cover next, and I will see you next time.